It's time for lunch, and in a nod to National Butchers Week, Tom Parker Bowles is cooking braised beef cheek for us. More and more people going back to their local butchers.
I think butchers are the backbone of British food. You go in there, you don't have to buy fillet steak, you don't have to buy rib of beef. You can go and buy cheaper cuts, like beef cheek. This here is your beef cheek. It doesn't look the most attractive cut, but if you cook it slowly, it's tough to start with. It melts and falls apart into sort of silken, delicious, flavour-packed strands. It's really, really good.
Yummy.
It's not quite as cheap as it was. It was very cheap, and then lots of chefs said, this is wonderful. So
and then it gets a bit trendy.
Yeah. But it's still cheap and sustaining, and even on a lovely day like this, it's a sort of winterish, springish dish.
But you've got to know how to cook it.
Exactly. Now, it's really, really easy. All I've done is I've cut it up. I've taken off a lot of the fat, because there's quite a lot of fat on it.
Yeah.
Taken off the majority, cut it up, and browned it. Now, when you brown it, obviously, people say it seals in the meat. It doesn't seal in the flavour or anything. It just gives you an extra lot of flavour on top, really. So the sort of Maillard reaction.
And a nice colour.
And colour as well.
The thing is about a cut like that, maybe you wouldn't know to ask for it. And if you go into your butchers and ask them...
Exactly. Butchers know what they're talking about. Now, look, this is the supermarket, and I'm not going to say anything wrong about the supermarket, but the butcher, if you say, look, I've only got a £5 or a tenner to spend, they say, what about beef cheeks? Or what about ham hock? £4 for a free-range ham hock.
I know, ham hock's one of my favourites.
You can just simmer it, you get soup out of it, lovely bits of meat. You know, you've got heart, and I love heart. Heart sounds a bit scary, but it's like the best steak you'll ever taste. Flash
really,
fry.
though?
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to chuck this in here.
Really?
Absolutely.
Have you eaten heart?
I have, but I don't think I can remember what it was like.
It is so good. Anyway, proper homemade sausages, you've got shin of beef, you've got neck of lamb. All these are more
I
unusual
always find,
cuts.
whenever I buy meat from the butchers, I eat less of it. I don't know why that is. It's almost like the meat's got more substance to it.
Well, I'd say that, look, butchers, they want flavour, they want you to be happy, they want you to come back. And, you know, we should go and we should look after our butchers and our greengrocers and our fishmongers. These are independent traders, but they know what they're talking about. That's the key. Anyway, so these have been browned already, lovely sort of caramelised. In comes carrot, which has been browned, and leek and onion, all very, very easy. So
did you trim the fat off that cheek?
I did. There's rather too much. You know, fat's lovely, fat is flavoured, but too much can be a little bit cloying. So.
And again, you can get your butcher to do it.
Exactly. Butchers do all this, but I just love the idea of going to the butcher and saying, what's good today?
Yeah.
The supermarket has many advantages, but doing that is not one of them. So support our butchers in any way we can. So all this lovely brown flavoured, different lovely bits and pieces in there. Stout. So you pour that in. What you want...
So that's
is to deglaze it. Now, it's another one of those cookery terms that are sort of bandied about, but as we all know, deglazing takes all the lovely crisp bits off the bottom.
All the good bits.
And then you're burning off all the booze as well. You can smell the booze coming off. And
did you burn your fingers over the weekend?
I was cooking Sunday lunch, and I was sort of chatting away, probably after a couple of glasses of wine. Picked up, so there's the burnt fingers, and I do it constantly. It's idiotic. Bit of salt in there as well, and Worcester sauce.
I love that stuff.
I love it. It's just one of the great British...
Oh, you do put a big old lug
I
in
know,
there.
but it sort of, again, reduces down. Chicken stock, you don't have to be precious about it. You can use stock cubes on this because there is so much flavour in there, just to cover it. Like
that looks good. Why wouldn't you use beef stock, just out of interest?
You could use chicken, you could use beef.
Doesn't matter.
Beef will give you more intensity. Chicken a little bit lighter because there is so much sort of flavour in here already. Again, it's a throw-together dish. You don't have to be Michelin-starred
already.
And the rest. So look at that. That's all cooking nicely in there. I think I have a little bit of pepper. And then all you do is you cover it. Do here.
Swap them over.
Swap them over and put it over a very, very low heat for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, until that meat literally falls apart. And it's all the flavours get to know each other.
Are you just having a sniff?
So there you have it there. Look, it's juiced and lovely and glorious and beautiful and all the rest of it. See here.
Beautiful.
So, because, I mean, we're in spring now almost, I say, aren't we?
Yeah, but you know, we've still got a nip in the air, so you still want to have a, like, something
warm by the weekend.
Yeah, it probably will be.
So you've got all this, and it looks, you know, it's sort of brown and stewy, as you'd imagine with a beef cheek stew, but they're just packed with goodness. And all those tough bits with the slow cooking, I'll leave you the bay leaf out there.
Look at that.
Fools.
And what are you serving this with today?
Well, pretty easy mashed potato, which you really cannot go wrong with, I think.
Do you use a potato ricer?
I do. That sounds a bit chefy, does it? It does make a big difference, I think. Get the right potato, get them really, really dry once you've cooked them, put it through the ricer, and then just bang in lots of milk and butter.
You do, OK.
But the ricer, it does sound chefy, but it does make a big difference, I think. But why do you?
I do actually.
Oh,
I do use potato rice. It changed my life. I love it. I love it.
Nightmare to wash, though.
Yeah.
They are, yeah.
Nightmare
It's
to
a
wash.
I know. But actually worth it.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get sort of lumpy mash. It's foolproof.
And then you have your purple sprouting again, you know, the first taste of sort of late winter, early spring.
It is, that really is tender.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
Yeah.
How delicious.
But again, you wouldn't get this at the supermarket, but it's just... The thing is, it's done all this work. The cheeks have been chewing the cud, rather than the fillet that sits doing nothing all day. The cheek
it's
has
really tender.
But it gives a lot of flavour.
Gosh, that's delicious. Really delicious. What other cuts of meat? Could you use anything else in there?
You could use shin, you could use anything that does work, any part of the beast that's actually been working on its life and is tough. You can't fast cook any of these cuts, but slow cook them, give them a bit of time. 2 hours over a low heat, and they relax and they fall apart, and all that connective tissue turns into gelatin, and it's just soft and unctuous and lovely.
So that's the rule of thumb. If it's done lots of work, cook it slowly, and then it'll be yummy.
And fillet and all those other bits have done less work, so perhaps less flavour and more tender, much more flavour, much less tender, unless you cook it slowly.
Go and ask your butcher.